Hello, this is to let you know about my horrible experience trying to sell a guitar on eBay. I was really nervous about it. It's a high dollar item. It was shipped, it got there. 8 days later, I was informed by eBay that the buyer wanted a refund. He's claiming that the fretboard was pitted and there was damage on the fretboard and that the guitar was buzzing badly. First, he was asking me to pay $300 to get a whole fret job. Then he went down to $125. So we're messaging back and forth on eBay, and I finally agreed to pay for a setup for him based on his style of playing. I call eBay, tell them there's nothing wrong with the guitar, and I'm happy to give him a refund for the original price of the guitar, but not the shipping. I was sound asleep. My phone pings that there was an unusual charge on my debit card. I immediately got up and looked. There was a $1,500 debit from eBay. Needless to say, I called eBay. And apparently they wanted to refund the buyer from my checking account rather than my PayPal account because eBay had put a hold on my PayPal amount for that sale to refund it. I finally got PayPal to stop all charges from eBay. They subtracted $1,500 out of my account and they redeposited $1,401. eBay told me that I'm responsible for the seller's fees as well as the PayPal transaction fees as well as the 1% fee to transfer those funds. Needless to say, I'm livid. eBay has no seller protections, and I will show you this with these phone calls. It was like over 9 days. I'm putting the end result on this one, and I'll actually give you the phone clips of what was said during the phone calls. I asked her 3 times to repeat it because I couldn't believe what she was telling me. So in essence, eBay has no protection for the seller. She is telling me they're assuming the buyer is right. Why would the buyer lie? And even though I had documentation, I had pictures, I had videos, I had proof, the other person had nothing, even though I had asked for pictures or documentation, anything to show that there was damage. As it stands now, I'm out $154. Here is the last phone call, and you're gonna be horrified at what you hear. Be prepared to be surprised.
Going back to your issue about the charge here in your account, you mentioned that you were charged twice for this, and I've actually, checked the record here, ma'am, is still showing that, the money that we are trying to charge out of your credit card is still pending. So it wasn't successful, and the reason why we're doing that is because there's no enough funds in your PayPal account, and probably it's because of the fees that PayPal charge for you when receiving this payment when the order was placed.
When this all started, the funds were in there because I never touched them.
Well, I just wanted to let you know, ma'am, that when we try to take the money out of your PayPal account, we cannot really, get the money in full, knowing that PayPal is still, charging you for the fees. Same time, if we will try to take that money, it's not gonna be automatic now that PayPal will cancel the fees and return it back to your account. So
now they're saying you need to cancel your fees in regards to that account. And once they see that, they can cancel their fees.
I'm really sorry, but we are different company from PayPal, ma'am. We do have different process when it comes to charging your account here. PayPal is only our money processor, but it doesn't mean that once we take action here in eBay, they also need to cancel the fees right away. We've tried doing that. We've tried to take that money out of your PayPal account, but since it's not enough to cover the refund cost, eBay was the one who reimbursed your buyer on your behalf.
There was enough until you guys started taking out all the fees. I'm looking right here at my PayPal account activity. First, they issued him $14.11.65, and then I see another debit for eBay for $14.54.12. Then another debit from transferring to a user card, $14.11.65. So my guess is that's where you guys charged my bank account and then put it back in.
I'm really sorry, but that's not what really happened here based on the record. I'm really sorry, but we cannot refund you the shipping costs for this, knowing that your buyer has a valid reason.
I have documentation, I have pictures, I have videos before and after the guitar was sent. I asked him to send me pictures to document. He said, well, it won't really show up.
I totally acknowledge that, ma'am, and I'm really sorry, but your photos or your videos are not really our basis to make a decision here. Once your buyer insists if there's something wrong with the item that they receive, we will take their word for it. And regardless if the seller is not accepting the return request, we will still gonna force the seller to do that. That's actually our process here in eBay when it comes to a situation like this.
So the process is to decide in favor of the buyer.
Yes. The case decision is actually decided in the buyer's favor. And we won't going to reverse any decision that we made here, knowing that your buyer is entitled to get their full refund. We cannot really justify that one, ma'am, knowing that your buyer insisted that your item is damaged or defective.
And I'm telling you, I have documentation that it's not.
We cannot really, justify that, or we don't have enough proof here, knowing that we are not there in the moment that your buyer received the item. And
I can send you pictures before and after. I have pictures and videos and images of that guitar. There is no damage on that guitar.
Again, ma'am, photos and your videos are not really required here in eBay.
What is warranted?
Our decision will only base on the return cases here or the return request of your buyer. If we found out that your buyer is really wanted to get their refund because there's something wrong with the item, then we always take their word for it.
Even though I have been with you since 2007 with a perfect record, and this buyer just had an account opened in 2018. So what is your return policy?
Our returns policy here is actually basing on the reason why your buyer is requesting for a return. So if we see that your buyer has a problem with the product, then we will ask the seller to let the buyer return it.
I thought you required proof that there was damage to the instrument. You're telling me the buyer does not have to submit proof?
No, photos are not really required. And in the first place, your buyer will not file a return request here if there's really no issue occurred.
That's not true because they obviously just did it.
I'm really sorry, ma'am, but we cannot also do that. We really don't have enough proof to just assume that your buyer really caused the issue here. We don't do assumptions here in eBay, ma'am. Your buyer is not willing to do whatever you wanted to do here. So we will ask the buyer to return it instead, since that's really what they wanted. We cannot control our buyers here. We cannot just tell your buyer, hey buyer, please follow with the instruction of your sellers.
Even though on my pages I state specifically buyers responsible for shipping. So you're telling your sellers that they're responsible for shipping both ways if the buyer decides they don't want an item for any reason.
Your returns policy is only applicable for a remorse reason. Like, for example, your buyer, decided to just return it because they changed their mind, they no longer need the item, or they ordered it by mistake. That's the time that we have to follow within your returns policy. If you put it there that buyer will pay for the return shipping cost, then we will have to force your buyer to do it. But if your buyer has issues with the product, ma'am, then we will ask you to pay for the return shipping costs. And your buyer is going to entitled to get their full refund.
Okay, so I could buy anything and say there was anything wrong and send it back, and that would be the end of the story, right? The seller would have to pay the shipping.
We will expect that all of our customers here are honest when it comes to transacting with their trading partners, ma'am.
Except for the seller, because I'm telling you that buyer was not honest.
As much as we are supporting buyers who will just file a false claim here, it's just that we are treating our buyers here, or we are actually valuing our buyers, knowing that if ever that they make an order here in eBay, they are expecting to receive a good condition item. So if they have problems, then we will definitely back up our buyers. Doesn't mean that we will just go ahead and ask our buyers to, hey buyer, please file a dispute stating that it's not as described, so that you will not pay for anything and returning the item back. Because in the first place, we are not there when the buyer received the product. How will we know the buyer is lying to their return request?
When I have provided pictures and videos all online, all with that ad showing every little speck of that guitar to the buyer when they bought it. There was nothing wrong with that guitar. When I get it back, there was nothing wrong with that guitar.
I know how confident you are sending them a good condition item, ma'am. At the same time, if your buyer here in eBay will insist that there's something wrong with it, again, we will always take their word for it. If your buyer here in eBay will insist that there's something wrong with it, again, we will always take their word for it. Again, we will always take their word for it. Again, we will always take their word for it. And I'm really sorry, but there's no way for us to reverse any decision here. This was already, closed correctly, wherein we can...
Well, actually, that's not true. I went to give them a refund, and I couldn't deduct the shipping out of the refund. Okay, so you're going to release it, and then I'm just going to go ahead and I'll have an option on PayPal to refund buyer, and I'll refund them $1,400, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Next thing I know, not only is my PayPal account charged $1,454, but my personal checking account is charged $1,500. So when I called them, and they finally put the money back into my banking account, but I'm still out $156.59.
I'm really sorry, but I don't see any notes here from the previous representative with this that you, so we can grant your request for that shipping cost refund.
Okay, so you're going to release it, and then I'm just going to go ahead and I'll have an option on PayPal to refund buyer, and I'll refund them $1,400, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds good to me. That's what I want to do. Are you still going to charge me for the eBay fees and the PayPal fees?
I can request for it. I can definitely send a request for your fees back for the one that was actually charged when you sold this item. At the same time, knowing that this has been escalated to us, it's still subject for approval.
So you don't have any notification that I've called like 7 different times?
There is a record here that you've actually called us, but I don't see that someone actually granted your request for that refund that you mentioned.
Okay, so you're going to release it, and then I'm just going to go ahead and I'll have an option on PayPal to refund buyer, and I'll refund them $1,400, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Because now eBay's telling me, according to them, $2,800 has gone through my account.
If only you disputed the fees in PayPal, ma'am, there's no problem at all. And, just taking that money out of your PayPal account. At the same time, due to the PayPal fees, we cannot really take the full refund out, so we decided to just reimburse your buyer instead. So knowing that eBay was the one who reimbursed your buyer, you need to pay us. And that's the reason why we tried to take that money out of your credit card, and it's still showing that it's still pending. So since you mentioned that you've already contacted PayPal, so if ever that we can already see the the payment from PayPal or the full amount, then we will try to take it. Same time, you can also contact your credit card provider to, cancel the fees that we're trying to recoup or we're trying to get. Yes, it's actually for the final value fees, and I'm actually trying my best here to help you out in getting it back. So I'm going to go ahead and submit a request here for you, okay?
I've been dealing with eBay since 2007. And there's always been it's been a little hinky here and there. I'm going to let people know that you guys are not reputable to sell high dollar items. This really sucks. There's no warranty for the seller.
I totally understand.
And the way that you guys did it showed that there was $2,800 going through PayPal.
We will respect your decision, ma'am, and we totally respect your opinion towards our policy.
So how long is it going to take to get those funds reimbursed?
What do you mean by the funds?
The charges that you guys are trying to charge me for selling $3,000 worth of equipment that I didn't sell.
I'm actually working on it, and the final value fee will be a total of $49.
Why? What the hell is that for? I didn't sell anything.
That's why I'm working on it, ma'am. I'm actually requesting for that fees back to be credited in your account.
And how long is this going to take?
If it will be approved, the refund will go back to your account within 24 to 72 hours from now. You have to ask PayPal to cancel that fee. They're not the one who charged you that fee, so it's not going to be us who will handle that.
So you're going to cancel your fee?
We'll try to do that. I'll send a request here for you. I'm not going to give you any assurance, ma'am. Since this case has been escalated to us, we will still have to send this request to our internal team so that they will be the ones to process it.
Can I speak with the internal team now?
No, you're not available on the phone. Alright, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for choosing Aviva as well. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Today is Tuesday, December 18th, and you heard it for yourself.